We're in the final week of the Final Countdown series, and we're talking about loving on purpose and looking at how Jesus modeled loving on purpose in John 13, verses 1 through 17. It's a story that John really only picks up on. The other gospel writers kind of pick up on the event. They take the communion piece and look at that, where John, he picked up on the whole Jesus elevating himself by lowering himself to the point of absolute servanthood. When they walked into the room that day, and Jesus had given instructions to two of his disciples to go and prepare the place for the Passover to be celebrated, it would have been very understood, it didn't even have to be spoken, that in the preparing, they would hire or procure a servant that would wash the feet of at least Jesus, the rabbi, but who would also 99% of the time, wash the feet of those traveling with the rabbi. Those who would have the dust of the rabbi on them, as it were called. These people traveled in a day and age where donkeys and camels traveled on the exact same roads, where obviously there's nobody coming along and cleaning up after them. And so there's filth on their feet. They wore open sandals. So they're filthy and they're nasty. And can you imagine what it must have been like when the disciples walked in and they looked around and they saw the basin and the towel and the preparations for the feet to be washed, but there was nobody there to do it? I wonder what was going through their minds. I wonder if some of them thought, I guess I could do this, but then I'll get stuck with the job all the time. A lot of people in church kind of think that way too. I'd help with the children's ministry, but if I do, I'll end up doing it forever. And Jesus, in a very epic moment, perhaps one of the most significant examples of what servant leadership or quality leadership really looks like, he took the basin with the water and he fashioned a towel around his waist. He took off his outer cloak. He has the towel, and he bends down and he begins to wash the very crusty, very nasty, very caked on layered dirt feet of his disciples. He loved on purpose, and he knew. He knew this would be their last night together. He knew that for all intents and purposes, his public ministry was over. And he also knew that the Garden of Gethsemane is where he would be arrested. He knew that Judas was about to betray him into the hands of his arresters. He knew all those things. And yet in those moments, those closing moments that he had with his disciples, he poignantly showed this word picture of serving, rolling up his sleeves, taking on that posture, and making the example out of his life for them, as he had been doing the entire time they followed him. If you had a short amount of time left to live and you knew it, how would you love on purpose? What would you want people to remember you by? What one thing would you really want them to look at you and say, remember when they did this with us? Remember when he or she showed us this and said, don't forget to do that for others? How would you want to love on purpose in your last days so that it would make a significant difference in other people's lives and for eternity? Those are the questions you're going to get to ponder. Hey, don't forget, we have the car washes, the reverse car wash, where $1, no donations accepted car wash coming up this Saturday. We would love for you to be there. If you have any questions at all, please contact your life group leader. They'll have the information. They'll know the destination spot where you guys are going to be. And don't forget about the barbecues. They happen every Sunday night in August, and they start at 6 o'clock. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have fun. Let's just kick back, enjoy, get to know each other, and look at and get excited about what God wants to do through our lives and through this church in this community for this day which he's raised us up for. I look forward to it. I hope you do too. And we'll see you at the outreaches and at the car wash. God bless you.